Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
The Apollo 11 lunar landing, 50 years after it took place, still represents the pinnacle of human achievement. A $110 billion effort in today's money, involving more than 300,000 people, it may have never taken place were it not for the brilliance of one man.
The training methods for future space flight and the special equipment needed for survival are much like those of present high-altitude flying. And the experiments we are making today are helping us to solve the more complex problems to come.
Wernher von Braun was born in Vichy, Germany in 1912. He attended the University of Berlin and attained a doctorate in physics in 1934. As a student, he joined the Germany Society for Space Travel with a dream to send people into space. Studying designs from Robert Goddard, he was able to develop the supersonic V-2 rocket in the late 1930s. When first fired upon Britain in September 1944, it killed 3,000 people and injured thousands more. After the war, von Braun surrendered to the Americans and agreed to work for the US Army. He brought across a wealth of experience, playing a central role in the development of ballistic missiles, including the Juno, Jupiter-C, Pershing and Redstone rockets. In 1957, the Russian satellite Sputnik was launched. The Americans would have none of that, so von Braun and his team assembled and launched their own satellite, Explorer 1, in 1958, beginning the famous Cold War space race. While the Russians may have beaten them to the orbit, the Americans knew that the real challenge was to put a man on the moon. In 1960, von Braun left the US Army to join the newly formed National Aeronautics and Space Administration. He oversaw the development of the Saturn I, 1B and 5 rockets, the last of which became the launch vehicle for the Apollo program, which culminated in the Apollo 11 lunar landing on the 20th of July 1969. You Russians.
Von Braun served as NASA's Deputy Associate Administrator for Planning from 1970 until he retired in 1972. He died of pancreatic cancer on June 16, 1977, at the age of 65. His impact, however, goes well beyond that. I'm joined by the Professor of the Internet, who was in fact on his way to receive an Ig Nobel Prize for pioneering work on string cheese theory, with a focus on delectable spreadability. Professor, what was so special about von Braun?
Thanks, Clive. Yeah, well, he was quite the visionary. That's the big thing, I think. The director of the Apollo program, Sam Phillips, said that he felt America would never have achieved the moon at all without von Braun's help. He saw what was possible and made it happen.
Inspiring words. Thanks, Professor.
Anytime, Clive. I've got to go now, because things are getting a bit crayfish over here.
Professor D. Grace, back to you now, voiceover.
Thanks, Clive. Yes, it is truly impossible to underestimate the importance of the role that Wernher von Braun played in advancing space exploration. The Americans did not see a German putting them on the moon, but if he hadn't, we may still be waiting. Indeed, since the last Apollo landing in December 1972, humans have not been back again, something that has irritated a fair few people. Who will step up to the challenge? You don't know? I don't know. Maybe we'll find out next time on 3-Minute Physics.
I couldn't get through the string cheese theory.